And then do you want to start with your name and your organization?
Yeah, my name's Traci Dotson and I am the project manager. I work with Success by Six. I oversee a collective of doulas called Doulas of Douglas County.
Where did Doulas of Douglas County start?
Yeah, so it actually started as a grant through with Success by Six. They are pretty much our oversight. They do the administrative side of things, and then the collective is the client side or facing. We are a collective. All of the doulas are independent doulas. We just come together. We work to serve our community, specifically Black and brown birthing bodies. So any woman of color or birthing body of color, we are there to support them through their pregnancy, during their birth, and even postpartum. So everybody is trained as a breastfeeding counselor. They're able to support that need. If it's maybe that you didn't have or work with a doula, they still can meet with you and serve you in other ways. So really, we say we're full spectrum doulas. I know that there's just different ways that the doula work can vary. We cover it all.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
About how many doulas are there right now?
So right now we have 6 trained doulas. I serve as their backup, so I'm trained as well.
Oh, wow.
And so, yeah. We all trained through Uzazi Village. They're in Kansas City, Missouri. They're a very well-established program. They actually have a doula service. They're opening their own clinic. They are like the gurus in our area. So we were really lucky to train with them. They use a Afrocentric lens, so we specifically focus on work with Black bodies, but you know, we don't exclude who we're working with. That's just the lens we use. So, yeah.
What drew you specifically to being a doula?
So I was drawn to doula work or birth work in general just because of my own experience. I have an almost 4-year-old and I was born and raised here in Lawrence. I feel really connected to the community. And then I was thrusted into parenthood and was like, who are my people now and where do I go and what do I do? And luckily enough, I studied social work, so I felt like I was connected to different agencies and organizations that way. Felt like I knew my resources and kind of had that in my back pocket. But just knowing your resources, I don't think that's enough when it comes to parenting. It goes so much further than that. And so for me, I want to be that person that helps connect people with resources, but also as a part of their village. I don't want to be just a service provider. I want people to know that they've got, not just a professional in me, but a genuine friend, if anything. I'm here to support you. I believe in you as a parent. I think that all parents have their children's best interest at heart, and I just want to be someone who helps them grow into that.
Right. Yeah. And the locations, is there a building location yet?
So we don't have a building location. Doulas work with families wherever they are. And so a lot of the work that they do, because you're getting prepared for your birth, really, a lot of it's going to happen at home. When you're talking about comfort measures and how do you want to labor, where do you want to labor? Do you want to go to the hospital and do it there, or maybe you want to do it at home? So show me your home. What are some different spaces and ways that we can use this? We're going into the home a lot of the time, but we also like going with people to their prenatal visits and meeting at the hospital, and can meet in different areas in the community too. For the moms or people who have other children, parks are always great because you can let the kiddos run around and do what they need to do, but also get in your time. And it's just really great to be in the community. Maybe it looks like going and taking you to the library because they have books and babies, and that's a cool resource and a really great space for parents to be hanging out. So a lot of the work is just out in the community, in the homes, and it's
really meet people where they're at.
Exactly, and in their comfort zone. You don't have to come to this office. You don't have to put on clothes because you just had a baby. We're going to come to you. We're going to put in a load of laundry for you, do a load of dishes, whatever that is, to make it that much easier for you because you deserve that support. Everyone does.
So what does the process kind of look like for someone who reaches out and they want your services?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a Facebook page, which is a lot of people I think would connect with us that way. We can also be reached via email, and pretty much that's the first way to get connected. We have a process where you can see all of the doulas' names, and they have bios, and you can kind of get to know them that way. But then they can meet with you one-on-one. If you know who you want as your doula, we work with it like that. But if not, I can work to kind of get to know that family or person and know the group of doulas well enough. We can kind of do some matching like that. And then their first visit is scheduled between them and their doula, and it's wherever they're comfortable. Well, again, we always want to come into the home because, you know, especially when we talk postpartum, it really is nice to just be able to stay at home with your baby and have the help coming to you, the support that you need, and them coming with resources. And sometimes it's those tangible items like some diapers or whatever it is. You know, that's a big part of our work, is like looking at what families' needs are, what types of resources do they know about already, what types of resources do they want to know about. You know, there's some things that like our program's connected to, like a paid parental leave program, and just different organizations that offer like rent and utility assistance that some families might not know about or regularly have access to. Our doulas can be the bridge between that for families. They tend to stand in that gap, and that's something that I really appreciate.
Yeah. How would you describe like a doula?
I know it's so hard.
Yeah. I know.
So, you know, it's fun because of the group we did this kind of exercise of like, what are the doula do's and don'ts? And so, you know, when I think of the don'ts, you know, we're not medical professionals. We're not catching your baby. We're not helping. Like, that's not what we're here to do. We're also not there to like replace any other support person that you have. So like people, I think sometimes think like the doula is your support person. We're just a part of that team. A lot of people, you know, they still have their partner, their mom, their grandma, whoever it is that they want there. We're just there to support that family, like the entire family. So when I think of doula do's and what we do, so much. Think of like support through your pregnancy. They can help with like your birth planning. A lot of people, it's like planning a birth. What does that mean? But it's like recognizing like before I'm in this like heightened state, right now while I am, you know, I'm really embracing my pregnancy, thinking about what it is that I want and hope for my child. How do I make that happen and starting in my pregnancy, but really at birth? You get to start making decisions for your child while they're in your belly. And I think a lot of people, you know, they think that the medical professional is who is making those decisions, but really it's a collaborative effort. And so your doula is there to support that and advocate for that. And not to be the advocate, but to encourage you to be the advocate yourself, because no one knows your body better than you do, and no one knows what you need more than you do, especially when we're talking about, you know, it's painful and it's a really intimate and private moment, and that's something that you should be in control of, and take that power of, and so doulas help with that. And then we go and we help with, like I said, connections to resources and different supports. Our community is full of resources, and I think that sometimes people aren't connected to the agencies or that one person or that one space. They don't know about that, and so I think doulas might be something that opens that up for families in our community, the ones that maybe do face that isolation and don't know where to go to get that support. I'd hope that doulas fill that gap too. Because I think it's something that I experienced, and that's what I go back to, is like, you know, being exposed to all of the service providers through my work. I was like, oh, I know that's where I can go to get the help with diapers, or I know that's the people who help families with kids under 3, and like that's their specialty. And I don't think it should be things that are that's gatekeeping. You know, when we start talking about it, that you have to have access to this education just to parent. That's bizarre. It's really a bizarre concept. And so doulas really, they're the childbirth educators too, you know, and they're there when things aren't always what we think of when we think of childbirth. Like we constantly talk about it being beautiful and this like really intimate and sacred moment, but sometimes you know, people's stories, they end differently, and doulas can be there for that too. And so they're there for the things that maybe people are scared to talk about when we talk about abortion and adoption or miscarriage and stillbirth. Doulas are there in those moments, and they're not afraid to talk about it with families, and they're not afraid to really go through that process with them. And sometimes it looks like just having someone there to hurt with you, and doulas do that too. And
that's actually amazing. I had no idea.
Yeah. And it's your entire journey, you know. Before you're pregnant, you could connect with a doula. Our doulas are sexual health and reproductive counselors as well. So all of them can like help you with what are my birth control options. They can run you through that. Where do I go to get condoms? They'll go with you. They'll give them to you. We have that kind of connection. So it's really, like when I say full spectrum, I'm like, I'm not talking just the people who end up with babies and they're birthing babies. And we don't just stop with the birthing body. We're there to support the whole family. We, of course, are there for, to help with the babies that come of that. But a lot of people, you know, they're on baby number 2, or maybe they're away from their family. And so we're there to help them build that, that again, it's building that village, that connection of people. Who are your people here and what's now home? So something really special about our program is we work with families that maybe, or birthing bodies that maybe do not have documentation. And so we don't have, when we talk about eligibility and criteria, we serve any BIPOC birthing body that lives in Douglas County. And so for some of them, they're far away from home, and maybe it looks like they've had a partner that isn't here in the States with them anymore. And that can be a really isolating and scary experience. And so we do have one doula who is bilingual. She speaks Spanish and English, and she works with our families who are from all over. And so sometimes that's a barrier. I think people go in with the assumption that, you know, you speak Spanish and you can communicate with anyone. And our community is really diverse, and that's something that even I'm learning about still. And so supporting those families too, because you know, pregnancy can already be isolating. They say you find out who your people are when you get pregnant, and you really find out who they are when your baby comes. And doulas are your people. They stay when your baby comes. Sometimes we're knocking on the door because you're not answering because you had a baby. But you know, we're still going to be there, and we're still here to offer that support.
Well, I think that's like a really beautiful way to end it, unless there's anything you feel like you missed or would like to include.
I don't think so. I think the biggest thing is just following our social media. Again, we're Doulas of Douglas County on Facebook. We're here to serve all birthing people, and specifically or really intentionally serving Black and brown birthing bodies. And so all of our services are free to Black and brown birthing bodies. I probably should have started with that. Doula services really can be very expensive. In our area, anywhere from $800 to $1,100, $1,200 for a doula.
I would have had a doula if I could have afforded it, but
I would have had a doula if I could have afforded one. And that's something that is really special and unique about our program. All of our services are completely free. And so it's a really great opportunity, and we have a lot of ladies, 6 of them, who are excited to serve our community. So.
Yay! Okay. Well, thank you so much for meeting with me. This was amazing.
Yeah.
I'm so excited for
Thank you.
out there.
Thanks.